a lot of people have been through traumatic experiences and needing to release things. I mean, we've just talked today, we've talked about what, child sexual abuse, we've talked about different things like that.
I think a lot of that stuff will create, well, first of all, you got to start with the brain, perhaps the pineal gland, and so forth. And the brain vibrates at a certain megahertz, and your whole body does. And everything in string theory is vibration. Vibration separates the dimensions through the thin walls, all vibrating, because if you look at a fan and if it's going faster, you see different things. If you slow it down, you see different things. I fooled my mom once because they had this coded TV in Chicago, WFLD, and it would always loop. Unless you pay, you get the box.
Oh.
So I said, Mom, put a fan in front of it. That's the answer. She'd sit there for hours. It ain't working, David. I'm laughing. Anyway, I'm sorry. I pulled pranks on my phone.
My gosh. Is Julie over there?
Is Julie there?
Yes.
Hey,
Hi,
Julie, come on in. We got a chair?
Yes,
Where's she
we do.
with
She's
us?
right here.
Let's just cozy up.
I guess let's just make sure.
The beautiful Julie.
Hello.
How are you? I'm David.
Nice to meet you.
Same here.
Nice to be here.
Night, Brittany.
Hi, nice to meet you.
This is Julie Doray, and you are a quantum healer.
Yes.
And you don't live in the area, so you're on vacation here, and you came to see us today. So
Yes, I did.
you are sharing this with us. So quantum healing was new to me. Have you guys ever heard of it? Like it was.
Yes.
You have? Okay.
I've heard all
okay.
about it.
Okay.
I studied it, but I've never practiced it. It's actually the cells that continue to grow and duplicate. Your mindset at that time will create a positive, more positive. Am I on the right track?
Sure.
Why don't you tell us what quantum healing is? Like
Yes,
from your
that's-
perspective, what's quantum healing?
That is an aspect of it.
Yes.
When you have that little voice in your head, or that feeling in your stomach,
Can they hear you at home?
the intuition,
Yeah.
you know, the things that are guiding you, that is typically your higher self and your higher consciousness. So what I do is I work with a client to get them to a relaxed place so that they are able to access their higher consciousness, which holds all the information about you. And so through that, you are able to get information about why things are happening in your life and do healing and clearing and releasing with that. You can release trauma that you've held your entire life. We hold trauma in our cells, and so it is releasing the trauma from the cells and then filling that space up with peace and love. So,
Which is positive and a higher energy level.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's just getting you to the theta level, which is when you're zoning out when you're driving, or when you're falling asleep or waking up. That's the theta level. And so it's just getting a client relaxed to that place, and that is where you're able to access that information.
Is it a form of hypnosis or is, okay, it
is.
is. All right. So you're a trained hypnotherapist?
Yes, but it's not traditional hypnosis.
Right.
So the client is in control. It's 90% the client. I am not taking over. I am not having you talk or walk like a chicken. The client is having the experience, which is why I love it. It's pure, because it's the client hearing, seeing, and feeling the information, and I'm guiding them, but they're having the experience.
So you're helping walk them through the steps. You're not putting them in a trance. You're helping them put themselves in that place.
Right.
And then how long does this normally take? Would more than one session? Just one session?
It's typically 2 to 3 hours in a session, and at the end of the session, I will ask if it's in their higher good to do another session with me. Sometimes it is, sometimes they don't need it, so it varies.
Okay, so if we're talking about like releasing a trauma or trying to find a more peaceful place, like how does it work? I mean, you're talking about how it works, but how is the impact differently than maybe somebody who's in therapy or something like that? Like who's a good candidate to do this opposed to just doing a traditional psychologist?
Someone that is wanting to really get some deep answers about why things are happening, why they are in a rut or a pattern, and break that. Someone that is looking to raise their vibration. Anyone can benefit from a quantum healing session, but it's not magic. You don't come and have a quantum healing session and walk out magically transformed. You can have an incredible session with miraculous results, but you have to maintain that after. And so it's retraining your mind. We healed and cleared these things, and if that pattern starts coming in, it's reminding yourself, I healed and cleared that. And so you do have to put in the work after.
In sort of answering your question, I think the bifurcation between you and traditional psychology would be, we would be trying to manipulate or work with your cognitive behavior, versus you trying to, and I like what you're saying, because I'm in the paranormal big time. I understand vibration tremendously, and getting those, I've worked with really good mediums who can feel the energy in a room of something and can sense the vibration, whether it's low or high, good or bad. But you're right, spot on, I think, when you're saying trying to get to that higher level. I guess the question begs, is there more homework there than it is the actual on-time training? Because, I mean, I'd like to get to that level.
Is there more homework there?
Well, do I have to go home and do 10 times the amount that we did in one session to continue the process till we see you again?
Are you referring to a client?
Yes.
If a client, I record the session, and so the client is encouraged to listen to the session as often as they wish. When they listen to the session, it reinforces the work that was done, and sometimes they will be given homework to do. I equip them with tools. I give them tools that can help them stay in touch with their higher consciousness. And so it's a fresh start for them.
Well, obviously you're successful. It's working. Some of your success stories, taking someone from this level because of this, and now they're here, and the ultimate goal is living a more unconditional love vibration and or environment around you. Because acceptance is the key to all our answers. However, we can't get there without having the vibration. And I think once you get to that level, the solid structures continue to regrow. And if you can stay at that level, your body heals itself. Is that not the intent?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I show the client how to raise their vibration to access their higher consciousness, and the healing is maintained if they are able to stay in that mindset, which is why it's so helpful to listen to their session often. You are able to maintain that cord that you establish with your higher consciousness, really, by listening to your session many times. So to answer your question, it can be quicker than seeing a therapist every week, but you do have to be willing to move forward in a different, healthier, positive mindset. You have to be willing to release things that have been bogging you down. I can assist you in getting the answers as to why things are happening in your life, but if you're not ready to move forward and do what was suggested in the session, then you can just stay where you were. People can walk out my door and have great results immediately, but it's up to them to want to shift that. There can be physical results. I did a session.
Right.
I did a session on a woman that was a smoker, and she went into the session with her raspy voice, and during the session, her higher consciousness started healing her throat and releasing scar tissue that had built up, and by the end of the session, her voice was different, and you can hear that on recording.
Sure. And I think today science backs that up.
It does.
It does. I mean, 40 years ago, if you were doing this, you'd be tossed out, throw her to Salem. She's a witch.
Yeah. Can we talk about the scientific aspect a little bit? I think that's a really interesting point. Just just to help people understand how science has backed this up. Like what sort
We're
of
using the word
studies.
quantum first, and quantum suggests to me, at least on a physical level, it's kind of like photons in sunlight. It's not linear, but it's spot on, and it's radical. It's chaos. And so is energy when you take it down to its lowest level. They have found out in quantum mechanics that energy can be here and here, the same electron, the same quark can be in two places at once. How can this be? So, and that's through manipulating the vibration and the energy of those things. Now, if we can do that with that, we're made of those things.
Right.
And what I hear you saying is that you're working and trying to get the vibration up so those things react.
Yes.
Okay. I did my homework.
So
I see that.
So can you talk about the science a little bit, just because this is something I haven't heard about connected to the science?
Regarding quantum in general, science, and I'm not prepared to reference.
Right,
a lot
I
of
know. I just
articles.
threw it at you. So.
There is one thing that I noticed online about 6 weeks ago, and it was a purple covering, like a purple cloud covering the earth. And science did not know what it was, but they photographed it. And I did a session, a group journey that I do every week, and we were able to go up there and experience what it was and find out that it has to do with raising our vibration. So it was very exciting for us because it was physical proof of something that was assisting with the earth and that science was able to capture on film.
And you live in the Colorado area, so that's where
I was
we're
just
doing
going
this.
to
Yeah.
say, not too long ago on radar, they had almost the same incident out in Arizona. They caught this cloud moving northeast, and no one would step up to the plate and say what it was. Hence, you going there, I am so interested in why do you always just giggle when I'm ready to pop a question?
I love that you're so informed. It's great.
Yeah. I'm wearing contacts and all the stuff is shared.
Oh God, we're gonna hear about this for weeks now.
Yes, we are.
Because I'm so informed.
Well, well, actually I am.
Yes.
Um,
And you're an empath.
I'm an empath.
I know.
And spelled backwards is Mensa. But when you went to this, what was the source? I'm going to have to beg to say it was not of this earth. Right. And I know where we're going with this. Yeah, and we are being helped.
We are.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. Who wants to step in the mud first with the risk of being branded something?
You do.
Well, you get to go back home. I mean, where do you think it came from?
I did not ask where it came from. I will tell you what it consists of.
Great.
What we discovered was that it is, or was, I'm not sure if it's still there, many souls or aspects of our higher self that were waiting in a queue, in a queue within this purple cloud surrounding the earth for this past Sunday, which was March 20, which was the spring equinox, and it was a part of Wave X.
Right.
So my next group gathering, we will see if it's still there. So Sunday, Wave X allowed the higher consciousness and the other souls that were waiting within this loving purple cloud to join with us and allow many humans to raise their vibration to the 5th dimension.
How neat. And that was done for you. I mean, with little effort on your own behalf, this just did it, didn't it?
What was done?
Well, when you went into the purple cloud, you had to accept it.
Yes.
Okay.
But this is my world, so it's easy to accept these things.
Right, right. But I can see you saying the fifth dimension and not fourth.
Yes.
So everything is vibration. So it's analogous to string theory. Yeah?
And let me expand on the fifth dimension. What the fifth dimension is about is being more heart-centered. And so you can experience many people in your day-to-day lives that are vibrating in the fifth dimension. And it will show, or you might get a hunch, because they are just simply more at peace and very heart-centered. So raising your vibration to the fifth dimension is not necessarily some earth-shattering change that we experience, but it's just more peace, more love, and being able to have things slide off your back easier.
So for like someone who hasn't been involved in quantum healing before, but they're interested in it, like how would you suggest that they start taking steps toward checking it out? Or is there, like what should they do? Can they do anything on their own, or do they really need to go to someone who can, help them with it?
There's all kinds of information on Google. You can just put in quantum healing. You can put in quantum healing hypnosis therapy, which is a specific modality that I learned. For me, quantum healing it can be Reiki, it can be tuning forks, gong baths, qigong. It can be a variety of healing modalities that can assist you to release things from your body and have it be a powerful release to where you are changed. And so
not all this higher vibration, people who get down in dumps and have that low vibration, and pretty much your brain signals those transmission waves through our neural pathways. And then with the low vibration, they start getting cancer and they start getting ill and all those things. Even souls that move on in low vibration seem to hang around here for longer before going to, look at those lights, before going to the light, because they're low vibration, extremely low vibration. And I kind of think it goes with what you're saying. It's not just our human element. You're getting down deep to the soul. Are you not?
yes,
Okay. The soul exists.
absolutely.
Oh, yes.
In my opinion, that's what the higher consciousness is.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I refer that same thing, soul, higher consciousness.
And the problem and the risk in your business of bringing the soul out is that you're going to be catapulted into some religion that some dogma that I don't want to hear. But the soul is there, and whatever you want to call it, you're calling it higher conscious, and I like that. But the soul in itself is an entity that is truly us. It has emotion, intellect, purpose, and that vibration is everything when we leave our body.
Right.
It's gonna project us to where we're going to be at. God forbid the people who commit suicide and are at that low level, because they end up low. They still vibrate low.
Not forever.
No. They go into a holding tank, do you think?
Yes.
The think tank to review.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they are cradled in love by their team, and they go through the period of time that it takes to get their soul healed and the fragments brought back to them, and from there they move on.
Is that what some might call purgatory? No, different from purgatory.
What is the difference?
I personally don't believe in purgatory.
Yeah.
It was created.
So I do quantum healing sessions on people of all different religious beliefs, and so to say on a generic way, it is that soul goes to their team. If that team is spirit guides or whoever they believe it to be, they go to their team and they are there as long as it takes to heal.
Okay.
And from there, they do the soul review there, but it's initially they have healing done there. And all pieces of themselves that have broken off in trauma are returned to them.
You mentioned spirit guides. and I've come to know them. Can't find mine, but I'm told they're there. Do you have the gift of seeing them?
Do I have the gift of seeing?
Seeing them above people? Their
No, I do not.
twilight? Okay, because I knew someone very good at it. And they actually told me who they were. And I was flabbergasted on one well-known, even anonymous. I was like, gosh, I mean, I got the gift here. But connecting with it is sometimes in the day-to-day activities that we're in, take us away. I have to bring up too, when children, I think they're born at a higher level because they're open to everything.
Yes.
And then the world grabs them and it starts teaching them things, the way it runs and the grind and all this stuff, and it brings them down. That's why they're very empathetic. When they're young and they can see things, they can see spirit, they see all these things because they're open and they're vibrating high with that same plane. And I want to get there again. To be in a place of unconditional love and to be at a place of true peace is worth more than $1 billion.
It is. And we all have the possibility to do that. Humans keep themselves small. We can have a fantastic session and a client could think afterwards that didn't really happen because it's hard to take in. When you feel unconditional love from your higher consciousness for the first time, it's often the first time they're feeling unconditional love, period. And it can be overwhelming. It can be a lot to take in. We all deserve unconditional love. I have done releases of...
That is a true statement.
I have worked with attachments, dark sources.
Yeah.
And when I am talking to them and they're trying to scare me and I'm telling them, I'm sorry for whatever got you to this place. You deserve unconditional love as well. And they can transform into a loving being immediately.
The human side of it, in our familial structure today, we don't get that. And we don't think we deserve it.
Right. I think that
It's hard.
you start, as you said, from a child, you become grounded to earth pretty much permanently or 100% when you're about 7. You're kind of cut off from that cord. And it's just a natural process as the adults are raising the children to sever that connection based on how they were raised. So for many people now that are open and aware, it is doing all that you can to have your child maintain that connection and believe in fairies and the little gnomes that live in the backyard and all of that to keep the connection growing up. It can be a little more challenging when they're in school and they're going through bullying and all of that. But we all deserve unconditional love. We can all experience that from our higher consciousness. We can release trauma easily. It doesn't have to be some big, horrible, drawn-out thing. And again, that is why I think quantum healing, in whatever modality you choose, can just help speed things up so that you can then start working on the new you.
I want to back you up on this because I had 2 MDEs in 2013 when I passed in the hospital.
Your death experience.
Yes.
For people that don't know what
Right.
that is.
I was in I had a botched operation. But long story short, you go there. That place, when I came back, I was so mad because I was in a place that you describe right now. And there were colors I cannot describe in this dimension.
Right.
There was music that I can't describe in this dimension. It's like the second dimension is a table forward, back, sideways. And it's there. And us in the third dimension, if we pass through that, we pass through the table, the flat land, they see something. They see a cross-section of something. They go, oh, what is it? I don't know. Where'd it come from? Don't know, because they don't know up and down. It's not in their vernacular, because they don't know up and down, their dimension. The penalty of the second dimension is that they don't know up and down. Third dimension, we don't know that place that you're talking about. And that is purely a gift. I'm right behind you on this.
When you came back, were you told why you had to come back?
Yes.
And has that helped shift your life?
I'm totally changed.
So knowing the reason why you're meant to still be here gave you the purpose.
Yeah. And this ain't real. This is a snapshot. When you get there, this is like, it's only this long in time. It was just
Right.
yeah. I worried about that, and we're told that in Scripture. Wear life like a loose garment. No, don't worry about things. It's not about here. And you're right, and I think it's all coming full circle, what you're saying. So to get to that level that you're speaking of, gosh, I wish I was with you in that purple cloud.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, I'm just so
bring it back to
enamored
the audience a
by.
little bit more. I know, and I'm glad, and I knew you'd. I knew you'd connect with her. So let's say somebody has a trauma that they want to let go of, and they were sexually abused as a child, and maybe that person that did it is alive, maybe they're not. Like, how would that go for them? Like, how would the process go for them? Can you walk us through what quantum healing would mean? Like what they would do to do this?
In a session or a tool that I would give to them to do
Anything, just in general, like how, if somebody came to you, they're sexually abused as a child, they want to let go of that trauma, what's next?
Okay, if it was in a session, then we would ask their higher consciousness why this happened, and I would ask for as much healing, clearing, and releasing to be done between the two people from this life and any other lives they may have shared. Releasing that from their cells, going back to the life of origin. Often it could be a karmic contract that they had, and when a client finds out, oh, I actually had a part of this, this was something that I had to learn and go through, then it can bring them a lot of, I don't want to say peace, but relief.
But when you say, okay, because especially I think when we're talking about a subject like child sexual abuse, and you say a phrase like, I was a part of this, like somehow it was meant to be. Like
Can I connect the dots and let her take over?
Yeah, well, that's not going to hit
Because
a lot
you're
of people.
earthbound in the
Right,
vernacular,
I know.
talking about real issues.
But for our
We're thinking-
audience, I'm
but
trying-
and I'm going to make that bridge. I think I can do right
that's
now.
cool. That's cool.
And the bridge is this: we choose. The spirit continues. We come in this world as spirit. We leave as spirit. I ended up going into paranormal. I've talked to them. I've recorded them. They have told me things. If I had not gone into that and had the NDE, I would not have you on the show. But you pick and choose, in many cases, the life you go in. Have you ever seen the show lately, The Ghost Inside My Child?
No.
All right, you need to watch that. And what that does, these are all the kids who do remember their past life, and they connect with the people who they were with if they're still living. They're spot on. They know the nickname for the aunt. They know what they did on the third birthday. How do they know this? He said, the youngster said, I chose this life. This is a 3-year-old. I chose you to be my mommy because something's going to happen to me that I have to go to school for and get through. And I think you're saying that too, are you not?
Okay.
Yes.
So back to the case where somebody's been sexually abused.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they are triggered, it varies on the client. If a client comes into me and they are very traumatized about the situation, I talk to them about it in advance, and so I will not say, "Oh, you contracted to have this done. It was your choice." There's clients that have different beliefs. Some believe in past lives, some do not. So I work with their beliefs and where they're at the time of the session. So calling forward and connecting with their higher self and getting information about why this happened in a loving way. Asking their higher consciousness, can you please explain why they went through this situation, and having that information come forward, and then calling in, if they are open to it, the person that did this to them, their higher self, their higher consciousness, and talking with them.
So in the sense, they're both so here's your client, and so they're at their higher level.
Right.
And so you're calling in the higher level of this person that hurt them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If they are open to it,
Right,
I ask
right.
them before we start the session.
And you
Yeah.
do end up getting access sometimes if they agree to it, the higher power of the other person.
Yes. Now, we can call forward their higher self. There is no guarantee if that higher self will come forward. They always have, but I cannot control another being like that. And so I will call them forward and they can choose to answer those questions or not and have healing and clearing between that person or not. I have asked questions that the clients have wanted, not necessarily just about sexual abuse. And their higher consciousness would say, it's not time for them to know that yet. Well, when is it time? In a few months. Okay.
And I know you've had clients where, they've done something like this, meeting with the higher consciousness of someone else, and they've seen changes in that other person in life, like back after the session.
Right. Immediate changes. I did a session a few months ago where there was immediate shift in her mother. And the mother was assertive and fulfilling her contract with her daughter, fulfilling the contract, doing everything exactly how it was meant to play out. And the next day there is an immediate shift. So it can happen right away. It can happen with siblings, spouses, any relationship. When you, on a higher level, ask for healing and clearing to be done. I've done it with friends. I have ended contracts with 3 friends within the past 6 months, and I have started new, fresh contracts so that we don't have that between us anymore. And that they feel it. It trickles down to their 3D consciousness.
So they don't even know you're doing this.
Right.
They just, okay.
Sometimes I will tell them,
Yeah.
because they live in my world and so they'd understand it and be appreciative,
Yeah.
but not always.
Interesting. Well, we're actually getting close to running out of time, and I know that we talked about we can't do the deeper session because we haven't done the prep for it. But for people watching, if they want to just kind of go to this meditative state and sort of a healing state on their own, you said that you could walk us through something fairly simple,
Right.
like 5-minute thing.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know, based on time, if you guys can follow along with me, but there needs to be enough time for me to explain it and then come back and regroup after.
Okay.
So I
we
don't
have
know-
about 8 minutes.
Okay.
And if we have to cut the show, you can keep going.
Right. Yeah, we could wrap up the show.
And then we
keep
can
going.
say next show what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So this is a technique that can be used if you would like to call forward a loved one that has crossed over, if you would like to call forward someone that is still with you and have, again, resolution, do trauma release, or someone that you just love and miss, including a pet. All right.
Okay.
Are you guys
So
ready?
walk us through. Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So allowing yourself to, let's just take some nice deep breaths through your nose, asking your higher consciousness to please join us, and releasing all that no longer serves you out of your mouth 3 times. Okay, I would like for you to see a beautiful hill in front of you. There's pine trees and a path. Allow yourself to take your time walking up this path. Feel the sun beating down on your face as you walk up the path. Allow yourself to hear the birds chirping in the trees. Look around you and see if you see a deer, or a fox, or a squirrel. If you see any animals, invite them to come talk to you and ask them if they have a message for you today. As you near the top of this hill, you'll come to a clearing. Invite a loved one to come talk to you there. Whoever you would like to connect with will come and join you, coming from the other side of this clearing, and meet you in the middle. You can ask this loved one, this pet, whoever it is, your spirit guide, Jesus, anyone, if they have a message for you today. If this is someone you would like resolution with, you can ask, why did this happen? Can we heal and clear and release this today? After you get the information you want, allow yourself to take your time walking back down that mountain or that hill, thanking that spirit, that soul, for coming forward and speaking with you today. As you walk back down the mountain, allow yourself to again feel the path, feel the ground that you're walking on. Grounding yourself with every step forward. And as you near the bottom, thank your consciousness for assisting you with getting this information. And now allow yourself to come back into your body and be grounded back into your seats in the studio where we are today. Over and out. The end.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Though I normally take more time.
Right, right. But that was good. Thank you. David, are you back? We have like a minute left.
My dog came up to
Four of
me.
them?
Yes, when in a clearing, and for whatever reason, I did not try to think of anything, and it came just to me. Stop breaking patterns. I like the patterns in the house. When we get up, we do this. We do it. Today was not pattern. You get everything, and I was confused. And I did break pattern today.
That is awesome.
He likes patterns.
Isn't it
we get
awesome
up, he
that-
goes outside, he comes back in.
Yeah.
I did not do that today. I did not take the time. And he just looked at me, and I felt what he was saying, and I said, stop breaking the pattern. I like the pattern. It's predictable.
So that shows you that anyone can come through to you and give you a message. And it's just a quick, easy way to make that connection.
Yeah. Did you call him? Did you
Yes.
ask for him? Okay, you asked for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was real.
Don't doubt. Don't
I
keep
don't
yourself
doubt.
small.
Doubt it.
I see, you told me to get grounded here again, and there comes that ego.
Don't keep yourself
Yeah.
small.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Where can we find you?
Yep, I was going to just have you say your website.
JulieDoray.com.
Julie, so it's JulieDoray, and we also have that on our Facebook page and on Twitter of NoLimitsRadioTV.com. And I guess from there they can find you and connect with you, and you're in Colorado, but you travel.
I do
And
sessions
people come
everywhere.
to you also.
That's right.
You came out here to do
Okay.
sessions?
No, not
No,
this
she has
trip.
family
But I
here.
have,
Okay, great.
I
Yeah.
have done sessions here, and
Well,
I do them everywhere.
Thanks
Yeah.
so much. Well,
Yeah.
they can get a hold of you. Thanks so much,
Yeah,
Julie,
thank
for
you
joining
so
us.
much.
Really.
Great talking.
All right,
Same
and
here.
thank you. NoLimitsRadioTV.com. Check us out and go to our Facebook, our Twitter, and
Instagram.
let us know what you think, and Instagram too. All right, thank you so much.
Hasta luego.